why that knee surgery happened that way. Was it because of fraud? Was it because of a double bill? What was it? So that's the way inferential statistics works. Two, we're going to use targeted algorithms. Algorithms are simply, you know what you're looking for. You're not looking for generalization. You're looking for specific things. We're going to go in and look at and target a specific issue, and like for example, double billing, and try to find those things. Three, we're going to use specialized databases. Databases, for example, to show doctors whose licenses have been revoked or they haven't been renewed. And finally, we're going to ensure that the claims administrator has followed your SPD. So we're going to know all of your SPD requirements, and we're going to have bumped those SPD requirements up against that entire claims database to be sure that what was actually paid was consistent with what was supposed to be paid. The question I would have you ask yourself today is, on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself on how you pay attention to the details? On another occasion, we worked with Mary Gillespie, the HR director for 14 years for a Northeast-based national transportation company. After she retained us to take over subrogation for her company, we looked back to see if we could find cases that had been missed by the prior vendor. We found hundreds of cases, but most importantly, we were able to recover $1.8 million on those cases that would have been lost forever. One of the major reasons we find more cases is because of our phone work. Everybody, including us, sends out letters and questionnaires, but we don't just wait for those to come back. We actually get on the phone and proactively call. And then on the going forward work for the same group, we also recovered at a higher rate because of our litigation experience. Many of you deal with subrogation issues. Most of you know that either your claim administrator is handling subrogation or that administrator has retained somebody else to do it for you. The challenge is that some of you may not know that you can double or triple your subrogation recoveries by one, finding more cases, and two, and I'm going to apologize that I am not just an attorney, but I'm a litigation attorney, but the good news is I am a litigation attorney, but two, by having a litigation attorney directly involved with your subrogation program. Why is litigation experience important in this process? When a person without litigation experience attempts to negotiate with a savvy personal injury attorney, there's a real chance that that person is going to be taken advantage of by that personal injury attorney. And I've had my own experience with this. Look at this guy on the screen, Jim Smith, an Atlanta attorney. And look at him; he's got his leather flying hat on, he's got his biplane, and we had a great case together. His client had a subrogation claim. Well, there was a subrogation claim by my client against his client for $300,000. He told the claims administrator he wasn't going to pay anything on that claim, and the reason he later told me was because he knew that claims administrator, even though they had a lawyer in-house who had a law degree, he knew that they didn't have the experience to go out and file a federal court lawsuit against his client. So he was going to call their bluff. Well, they sent it to me, fortunately, and I explained to him that I could file a federal court lawsuit. And I recommended to him that he go out to Lexis and Westlaw, look my name up, and look at the cases that I had handled. He did that, and instead of paying the claim administrator $0, he paid us $250,000. Litigation experience matters. As I mentioned in my objectives, we don't know what we don't know. The bottom line, from my experience as a litigator, is you either have litigation experience yourself, you align yourself internally with someone who has that experience, or you hire it from an outside firm. Now, as a result of what I'm sharing, you may be inclined to go call your subrogation vendor and find out if they have litigation experience. Don't be surprised if they change the subject on you and talk about their law degree or how long they've been practicing law and fail to mention that they don't have litigation experience. As Alex Morris said, owning a drone does not a pilot make. And there's a picture of a drone. The most important takeaway for you from this story I just shared are two words: blank experience. What's the first word?
Litigation.
One of my signature stories, or one of my anecdotes, which I share with many of our clients, involves a time that Cindy Logan, HR director for a Midwest manufacturing company, one of my clients, noticed something strange about her healthcare spend. The spouse of one of the company's employees had 78 MRIs over a 1-year period, totaling $700,000. Now, to Cindy's credit, she went and talked to the claims administrator and asked them, how could this happen and what can we do about it? She was frustrated when they told her there was nothing that they could do. She retained me, and together, we made the case to the claims administrator that they should have seen this trend after 3 or 4 MRIs and gotten case management involved. Because they failed to do that, we were able to recover almost the entire $700,000 from the claims administrator. I challenge you to think about how often you find wasteful spending that is the responsibility of the claims administrator. When I was in graduate school at Baylor University, my graduate advisor was a guy named Glenn Litch. Professor Litch not only had a PhD in English, he was a major in the Army, was military attaché to Portugal, and taught leadership at the U.S. Army War College. Fascinating guy. We would talk a lot about strategy and the military, and one of the things he always told me is, countries don't lose wars because they don't have great battle plans, because they don't have fantastic equipment, because they don't have smart generals. Countries lose wars because somebody forgets to put gas in the trucks. Having the gas in the truck is having the tools to maximize healthcare savings. Knowing when you're running low on fuel, you have 3 choices. 1, learn it if you have the time and the inclination. 2, find somebody else in-house to do it. Or 3, hire it outside. For those of you who are interested, we are happy to do 2 types of free reviews. 1, a data review to help you determine whether there are holes in your health plan. Or 2, review a 12-month subrogation report to help you compare your recoveries to industry norms. My contact is on your handout below, or see me after. I'm happy to give you a business card. I made 4 promises when I started today. 1, help you the employer, realign your relationship with your claims administrator. I did that when I encouraged you to review your ASO and get it fixed. 2, to help you save an outrageous amount of healthcare dollars. If you do the things we talked about today, you're going to save 5% of your annual healthcare spend. 3, to be so bold as to show you that you don't know what you don't know. For example, the importance of having a litigation attorney, not just any attorney, involved in the subrogation process. And 4th, the most important objective was the goal of inspiring you to be proactive and not reactive in dealing with your claims administrator. And that's what I hope I've done today. I started today with my story about climbing Mount Rainier. I'm going to end with one more photo. What do you all think this is right here? Anybody have a thought?
Picture the mountain you're going to climb. It's a picture of you going to another mountain. It's a whatever.
Well, that's great. It's not quite what I'm looking for. What I was looking for is that is actually a picture of the sun casting a shadow on the mountain behind it. That's me in the picture there. Casting a shadow on the mountain behind me onto the ground in front of me.